can't wait to clip this up and put this out.
Me too. I can't wait to see what you do with it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with what my shirt says. No, matter of fact, I'm gonna say find joy in the journey. That's one of the quotes on one of my shirts too. That's one of my favorite quotes. Anytime that you're struggling or something is just not going your way, find the joy. Like start making it an automatic transfer of thoughts to find the joy in the situation. Find the joy, laugh, don't take yourself too seriously. Because again, it's gonna work out the way it's supposed to anyway. So find the joy in the journey.
I love that. And on that note, keep being great. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Welcome to Underdawg Talk. I'm your host, Eric Jones Jr., the underdog with the heroic heart. And I have conversations with successful underdogs. And today, like any other day, I have successful underdog Tangia Seward. She is the visionary behind Black Girl Hug, Bold Statement Wear, and she founded the Black Girl Business Accelerator. Mm-hmm. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I got a question.
Uh-huh.
Which camera am I looking at?
Just look straight.
Okay.
Just look straight. Just act like it's an audience.
Okay.
Just look straight. No, it's the main camera and then that camera that we looking at.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
The other ones ain't on.
Okay.
Yeah. So, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
That's good.
I'm feeling a lot of gratitude today. So
yeah, that's good. That's good. I see you've been busy, but before we get into our conversation, I need a fun fact from you.
A fun fact?
Mm-hmm.
About me?
Yeah, about you.
I mean, there's a couple, but I'm gonna just go with I know a lot. I'm one of those people that know a lot of random facts.
What's a random fact you know?
Oh gosh.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do my second one. I've also been married. It'll be 10 years.
Oh.
So I'm 33 and I've been with my husband half my life. So
that's good. You don't hear those success stories. I was married once too, but not married no more.
Oh wow.
Yep.
I know that.
Yeah, my fun fact is I coached the state championship team. So I'm bragging about that because we won the state championship last week.
Congratulations!
Thank you. That's why I have like my jersey. My players were joking on me because they was like, "What you gonna get in the game with your fake jersey?" Because I ain't got no number or nothing. I was a little mad, but yeah, we won the state championship for club division. So that's like travel ball. We went 5-0 last weekend, and yeah, we going to another tournament next weekend coming up because it's Sunday. So next weekend, and if we get to the championship, we can qualify for national championship.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so yeah, I'm still excited about it. It's kind of sucks because I've been on spring break, so I couldn't go back to school and tell all the kids because he didn't play with us, but he's on our team because he just joined. So he can go and tell people he a part of a state championship team. So I like to brag when I win. So
yeah, you should because I'm sure that took them a lot of hard work and hours and. Yeah,
it took a lot of coaching hours too. Like
coaching
is like coaching basketball is not just waking up, going to practice. Like you really got to study, like know your players, know what they're capable of. Like it's rough. I've been watching a lot of March Madness lately just to kind of see different stuff that they use so that we can use it too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Who you watch basketball?
No, I was about to say that I'm not really a sports
nothing. Okay.
girl.
All right.
But I understand being an educator and being just a community organizer and all of that. So yeah, there's a lot of layers. I can understand that and relate to that.
Yeah.
For sure.
So can you tell us the story of how, why, and when you created Black Girl Hug?
It's a long story, y'all. Because there's a bunch of different layers to it. Black Girl Hug is a term that I coined way back in like 2016. I want to say is the first memory I have of it. And in my former life, I used to be a salon owner. and stylist. And so I'm still a licensed cosmetologist to this day. I'm not ready to let go of it. And so being a hairstylist and working from behind the chair, you know, your hairstylist is like your best friend, or your barber. It could be like your best friend, or could be like a therapist to you. Even if you don't get advice, it's just that comfort and you feeling safe with them. And so I provided that space for a lot of women. And I say a lot of women, I mean a lot, like hundreds. And so that was a Black girl hug for me, just that experience that I shared with other women in that space. And then it grew to something else once I started getting, you know, so I would have a client that was like the mom, the sister. I was servicing the whole family, the whole community. Their church was coming, or their whatever group they were a part of. And so I started to see the different layers of their mental health and how all of those different strands just kind of came together. And then having my own struggles, my own family, having, you know, women in my family having struggles. And so I lost my niece. She passed away when I was 25. She was 24. So we were more like sisters.
Yeah.
And when that happened, it kind of forced me to start taking inventory of our conversations and how we interacted and things that I wish I could have done differently. I'm at peace with it now, but I struggled with that because I would write her off. You know, I'd be like, man, she annoying me, or I wish she would just stop. And I didn't know that she was dealing with something deeper and for such a long time, you know. And so that's kind of where Black Girl Hug, where I was like, okay, I really want to do this and I want to talk about this, and I want to be, I guess, a beacon of light for other women. So I put it on a t-shirt. My other niece and my mother-in-law, they was like, put it on a t-shirt, give it a definition. And I did that. I put it out there, and then next thing I knew, I had like 5,000 followers on Instagram. My TikToks was going crazy, and don't look for me on TikTok. I'm not on that no more. It's just too distracting. But yeah, it resonated with so many women, and I was like, oh shoot, okay. So just living in my truth and just being authentic and just, you know, sharing those stories and providing a space for women to share theirs too and be authentic. Like, that's just how it got started. And yeah, here we are now.
I love that, because you're so right. Like, your barber, if you got a barber that you stick with, you talk to them about different stuff, for your hairstylist. Like, so that was very creative to start that just from those conversations, and to actually look into your life and see that someone in your life was dealing with something and you didn't even know it. Because a lot of times we don't know what other people are dealing with because people know how to hide it. So that I love how you started that off. So when it first took off, were you like, oh snap, I got to keep going? Or was it like, were you ready for it to like take off and keep going?
No, I don't think I was ready. I think I just did it. Like, I really, honestly, I just did some shit. I just did some shit. I just put it out there. There was no business plan. There was no like thing in motion behind the scenes with, you know, with how I work now. It was not like that. I just put it out there, and it was more like a creative thing. Like, I just designed this little logo and just put it out there. And I would wear the shirt myself, and people would compliment me on it. So I was like, okay, let me make it for more people. But being able to kind of stick with it, my journey is out there, y'all. So you can literally scroll down my pages. I didn't delete a bunch of stuff. You can see where it all started into what it's turned into now, and you can see the evolution. Really, I just listen to my audience, to my community. I'm just like, okay, this is what resonates with them. This is what they need. And also it heals me. It's a lot of times I'm talking to myself. Yeah. But if I talk to my inner self, which is my inner child, I'm talking to a lot of women. Yep. You know, even men. Like these quotes like this one, own lane, own race, own pace. It's not specific to Black women, but that's who I'm talking to, you know? And so, yeah, I didn't take it and run with it. It's been a journey. Yeah, because I remember I first met you in the summer, and I think
you had the shirt, you didn't have like a whole lot of advertising, but you were telling me about it. You were like, yeah, I'm bringing it back out. And just to see where you've been at in the last few months, like you everywhere, like I see it all the time. And then you change like your presentation of it and different things. So how did that process go of like not rebranding, but like cleaning up your brand to make it more of what it is today?
That's a good question. It's funny you asked me that because a lot of people have been asking me that. So earlier, Eric mentioned my business accelerator that I have. And so I'm also really big on education and each one teach one, going back and teaching entrepreneurs. Stuff that I've learned, I'm not perfect. I don't know everything. But when I learn, I want to bring it back. Mm-hmm. So to answer that question, right, there were a lot of things that I had to unlock in myself. I want to say the first thing was just putting myself in rooms and being around people that knew more than I knew. Yep. Right? And that were doing things that I want to do. That was the first thing. And then I did an accelerated class with the She Event. Mm-hmm. They host a virtual class here in Indianapolis. And so I'm on the board of the She Event, but I hadn't taken the accelerator, like I wasn't in the class. Yeah. So I took it. And I was like, this is good. Yeah. Mind you, y'all, I've been an entrepreneur since 2010. So I'm a pretty seasoned entrepreneur. Yeah. But I learned about this tip, which is called a brand archetype. Have you ever heard of that before?
I feel like maybe, but not to where I would be able to explain it to somebody.
So you can have an archetype for your personal self, and then you can have one for your brand. And so the brand archetype is 12 of them, and each one of them, they're different, just like the zodiac signs or whatever. It's based on your personality. It's based on what your audience is attracted to, how you speak, how you move. And so anyway, I learned what my brand archetype was, but they just kind of scratched the surface. So me being who I am, I go and research, and I'm like, how can I translate this to where I can break it down to even the smallest detail? Because I'm an educator, right? So I went, researched, found this website and some other websites. And so I started building my brand archetype. I started to think about and strategize what my brand voice is, which is the caregiver. And just think about the caregivers of your life and then look at my brand. That's what you're seeing. That's what you're feeling. Yep. Right. So then I started to research who my audience is with this archetype. What do they want to hear? How do they want to feel? Not just the quotes. This is a product, yeah, but you can go buy a sweatshirt anywhere. Yeah. So why you want mine? How do you feel when you wear this, right? Yeah. So it's really just about taking your brand archetype and then translating it into everything that you do. Like, you gonna feel me whether you meet me or not. I like that. And so how can I translate that into a T-shirt? That's crazy. You but go and buy a T-shirt anywhere. Yeah. But they want mine because of how I make them feel. So if you are an entrepreneur and you're watching this, I'm pretty sure you are, because we on the Underdawg. So let me tell you, if you feel like an underdog, go to look up brand archetypes. Okay, hit me up. If you can't figure it out, hit me up. I do not mind helping you. We're gonna talk about this later, and go down the rabbit hole, because that was a huge thing for me. It was a huge thing for me. But before you do that, you have to understand yourself.
I love that. That was like a little mini lesson.
I'm right ready.
There. Yeah, that's definitely something that the audience can take from that, just listening to that. But the one thing you said, you got to know yourself. Yes. I think a lot of times with social media and different stuff, you try to, I want to look like them or sound like them. Just be you. Like, I'm Eric Jones Jr. 24/7. I could care less who like me. I don't care how you feel about me. Like, as long as I'm being my genuine self and I'm being a kind person and a servant person that I am, then I don't care who likes me, because I tell people all the time, everybody didn't like Jesus. They not going to like you. So it's like, just be who you are, because the people that the audience that needs to come to you, or the people that need you, are going to come to you because you're being your real self. Like, you got to understand, hey, I understood, like, if I'm on somebody's radio show, I had a radio show, I might not could cuss. I got a podcast. I could do whatever the hell I want on here.
Right.
And can't nobody tell me. They can't say, oh, well, you cancel. You can't cancel me. I'm going to keep rolling because I got the equipment. I got the stuff. So it's like, once you know who you are and you confident in it, then that's how you figure out who you're going to talk to. And what you said earlier, everybody really, you talking to the little you. You talking to the younger you, and when you realize who you were and what you struggled and what you need, that's how you're able to help people now. Like, it's crazy. Like, you have to really go back and like meditate on it and be like, who was I? How was I as a kid? What did I need? Like, when I go speak, I think about the high school Eric. I don't think about I think about the kids now, but I think about how I was feeling, what I needed, and what somebody should have said to me, so I can go into the schools and tell them, and then they like, oh, that makes sense. Because I don't know how God put me in education, right? I hated school. I graduated with a 1.7, 2-time college dropout, but he said, okay, here you go. This is where you need to be. And I'm like, why? But then I realized, oh, I'm talking to the younger me, so let me help these kids so they don't go down the same, path as I did. So I love what you said about that. Like, you got to find out who you are when you were younger. So you said you've been entrepreneur since 2010. That's a long time. That's we in 2020. Yeah, we in 2024. Like, I was just thinking, like, because I was seeing people sell cars, and it's like, oh, they got a 2015 or I'm like, dang, that was a decade ago. Like,
I know.
You dang near can't get a car that's under, if you're going to get an older car just because it's 2024. But
yeah.
in your time supporting Black women entrepreneurs, what are 3 things you notice to help transition from side hustle to a full-time entrepreneur?
Ooh. What 3 things that I noticed? Like
that can help them transition from just, a side hustle to being a full entrepreneur.
There's again, that list is long, but these are not in any specific order. I can't say they are my top 3, but off the top of my head, I would say that you have to be committed. Like, you gotta make the decision that this is not a side hustle no more. This is your business, and when you make that commitment, you gotta commit. You got to say it with your chest. You got to stand on business, and you have to invest. Yep. That's your time, your energy, your money. You got to invest. You got to show up the way that you want your customers or your clients to show up for you.
Yep.
So you can't tell them to spend $70 on, a T-shirt or whatever, and you're not even willing to spend that on a photo shoot. You can't expect them to do that. So presentation matters. So you got to be committed, right? The second thing I would say is your circle. Like, who you surround yourself with, it really, really matters, because there's going to be hard days. There's going to be days where you like, man, I ain't trying to do, don't want to do, or I can't do. You're going to tell yourself a lot of shit that's not true. And some of it may be true, but you could find a solution, and it helps to have somebody you can call, or people that's, fanning your flames, not just going to let you go with that route. They like, hold on, we could do this, this, and this. And maybe they're in rooms that you want to be in, like I said earlier. So putting yourself in the room and around people, that has really helped with my group specifically, because we're in contact with people we maybe wouldn't have normally spoke to on the street. Yep. And not because we don't want to talk to them, but we in the hustle and bustle every day. You don't think to stop and talk to that person. You don't know what they even do, right?
Yep.
So you got to be committed. You got to put yourself around. You got to have a good circle. And then I want to say the third thing is, it goes back to being committed, but that investing part. I think that has been a huge lesson for me, because I went from being a service provider as a hairstylist to having products too. And so with services, your investment is in your education, right? And in the things that you learn and you bring back to your clients, and then you could up your game with that and create a better experience. But how do you translate that to the product? You got to invest even more money sometimes with that. And so, I would say commitment, having a good circle, and them investing that money, that time, that effort, because that'll take your side hustle to being a full-blown business, and you'll start seeing results from it. Yeah,
that investing part is so true, because you can't expect somebody to get something from you and you might not invest in somebody else or invest in yourself, like you said, like with a photo shoot or a website or different stuff that you know that you need. You might go spend that money on something that don't got nothing to do with your business, and you'd be like, dang, I could have put that towards that. Or you could $20 here, and then by the end of the month you got enough money to maybe get you a coach or maybe get you this or whatever you need. That investing part, I had to learn that, like, because I'm cheap. Like, I ain't gonna say I'm frugal. Yeah. And so, but then it's like, if you want your business to move up, you gotta put in the investing in the education part. Like, it ain't just about just waking up and just doing something. You gotta know who your competitors are. You gotta know what changes are being made in the industry you in. Like, I be studying all the time, or watching other podcasts, or watching people do interviews so I can get better, or reading so I can use better words, because people, because I laugh to myself, but when I use big words that I never use, I be like, ooh, I used it the right way, and that stuff like that. Like, so you got to invest, and then the commitment part. That's what I did. 2022. I listened to David Shands. He's like, man, you got to pick one thing that you want to do, and I was like, podcasting, and ever since, like, that's all that I took off with it. Like 2022, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do virtual. 2023, I'm gonna do in person. Now it's like I need to get like, each year you gotta, have goals to get better, but you gotta commit to one thing, and everything else will come around. It's just like telling my basketball players, like, stuff that you do on the court can translate to what you do in your real life, or what you do in real life can translate on the court. So you got to pick that thing. And then having a circle, you got a fire circle. You got a lot of good people around you. I've been in that area. I took the business accelerator, so I've seen the people around. So being around those people that are maybe a little more polished in business, does that sometimes intimidate you, or does that push you to want to go further, or go harder? I mean,
that's definitely a personality thing for me, because I love a challenge. So I love a challenge, and I'm always trying to put myself around people who will challenge me. Sometimes it's annoying, because once you know better, somebody like me, I have to do better. Like, I can't know better and then not do better. Yeah. Even if it's down to like a grammatical error in an email that I send. Like, I got to go back and correct it immediately. I don't care if I scheduled out 10 emails. I'm going back and fixing every single one, because I know better, and that matters to me and to my audience, and I want it to matter. Yep. So it definitely makes me better. Intimidated, I wouldn't say I get intimidated at all. And again, it's a mindset thing. Mm-hmm. It's a mindset thing, because even though and when I'm just saying in general, anybody in your life, and you feel like they know more than you or whatever, there's something that they don't know. Mm-hmm. There's something that you can bring to the table. Yep. If it's an older, person, a more seasoned person, maybe the youth part, not being able to connect to the youth like you can. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's a street smarts versus a book smarts thing. Maybe it's just having the swag that you do. Like, it's certain things that make us unique, and so we always bring something to the table. And once you figure that out, I mean, you're not getting intimidated by nobody. Yeah, you're not even gonna think about that. Yeah,
I asked that because I knew you would give a good answer, because a lot of times people get around people that are doing what they want to do, and they get intimidated, or they not competitive. It's like, if you're around winners, why you not winning? You should be winning. That's why you get around people that are doing what you want to do. And you can't get around them and be like, oh, well, they waking up at 5 and getting this done, and they doing this, and they got a schedule, and then you sitting there like, dang, why I ain't doing that? Because you're not doing, just do the blueprint.
Right.
Like, just do the blueprint. So, do you have a coach, a mentor, or do you just have people around?
Definitely. I think, again, it goes into the rooms that you're in. So, you know, yeah, everybody that I'm around, I would consider for the most part a mentor in some sense. Like even my husband, down to our pillow talks or whatever. Like his position that he's in the service, and what he brings to the table, he's so intelligent. Like there's things that I learn from him every day. Mm-hmm. And so I would even consider him a mentor. Of course, Katina Washington, she's a mentor, but most of the people in our circle, I can learn something from. And like I said, they're fanning my flame. So I definitely keep them around. I don't have anybody I consider like a coach. But yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's great. You got to have a mentor.
Yeah, shout out to your husband, because a lot of times when people, like one person's in business, one person might not, it kind of conflicts, or you don't, or maybe the support isn't there and stuff. I'm just going off of stuff I know. I ain't gonna get personal. I don't want nobody to listen and feel a certain way.
Oh Lord, yeah, please.
But yeah, hey, that ain't got nothing to do with me. But yeah, I just know. So shout out to him for that, because sometimes in the world that we live in, it's more the man out there than the woman, but it's the support system that you have around, and being able to say, hey, whatever you want to do, go do it. I got your back. Because if you don't have that partner, regardless of you man or woman, it's going to be hard to go out in the world and to do what you want to do if you coming home and you don't have that love and support, or somebody you can come talk to or learn from. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
What are some things, like what's a big lesson that you had to learn within the last, just this year so far? Because I've seen you out there, you doing different events, your business is booming. So what is a lesson that you've already learned the first quarter of 2024?
Definitely, and it's crazy because I know this, but everything has layers to it, and everything comes in the right time. And so for me, it's definitely betting on myself. Like 100%, not just halfway, not just seeing what happens, but betting on myself. I definitely had to learn that. And my mentors, my circle, just watching them, I'm like, yo, she don't wait on nobody. Like, even if it's, that person's job to get this specific thing done, if they're not doing it, my circle ain't waiting on nobody. They like, this got to get done. So betting on myself. And then I would say the other thing is just staying authentic. Like, Tangie, you not like nobody else. And you don't need to do what they're doing or the way that they're doing it. Even if you want to do something like that, it never works. Yep. And so I have to be authentic to myself. I host a lot of events, and so I just launched my Black Girl Hug retreat. It's like a meetup, but it's like a mini retreat. And this is coming from people that have experienced it. I had a private party last weekend. And so just me putting on that event and having my mentors there and them experiencing it, they like, this is nice. And I'm like, really? To y'all? Because y'all do big things. Yeah. But they're like, this is really nice. This is needed. I want you to help me with this, this, and this. And I'm like, okay. So my way is okay, too. My way is good enough, too. Yeah. So those have been the biggest lessons for me, I say, so far. Yeah. Betting on yourself is important. I mean, if you don't bet on yourself, then you shouldn't do FanDuel, DraftKings, none of that. Because if you can't bet on you, why you betting on somebody else? That's why I don't bet on anybody else in another sport, because I don't know what that man or woman gonna do. They might get hurt tonight, but I know if I bet on me, unless I can't walk or if I can't breathe, I'm not gonna stop whatever I'm doing. So I had to learn that too, to bet on Eric. And then
giving 100%, just going all the way in. Like you said, like sometimes you feel like, man, I don't know if I'm doing this right, or you see competition, or you see other people doing stuff, but it's like you said, you got to be authentically you and you unique. Like you was just talking to me on that, because I've been fighting that over the last week with spring break. I wasn't as productive as I should have been, but it was like, okay, you took your rest. Now it's time to really go into go mode and go 100%. Because I don't wait for nobody either. Like I guess I don't really got a team to wait on nobody. So,
right.
But I gotta do it myself.
Me neither.
Yeah. So okay. So with that, how hard is it not to have the team? Do it make you want to give up sometimes, or does it make you want to educate yourself more in the areas that you're weak in?
That's a really good question. So for me, I'm not giving up anything. I'm always going to educate myself. I learned that again from owning a salon. Like, you can hire a team, you can hire other people, but at the end of the day, if you don't even understand what it is that they're doing, that's how you get screwed over, because you don't know anything about it. Think about all the people, the celebrities or whoever you look up to, and the things that went wrong with the teams that they had, whether it was money or it was bad press or whatever. And that could come from their ignorance and not knowing anything about what that person is doing right or wrong. Yep. So there's that. I'm definitely going to educate myself. And then the other part of that is I live in an abundant mindset. So I know I'm going to have my team one day. Mm-hmm. And I believe that I have my team right now. You know, sometimes you got to use what you have to get what you want. You can't always be like trying to reach for things that you don't have yet. You have to appreciate what you do have and practice gratitude. And that's how you start attracting the things that you want even more. And even that you need. So my team is my husband. My team is both of my daughters, okay, because they both help me. And then my team is my mom, my sisters, my mentors. Like, we all collectively have contributed to Black Girl Hug. Like, it wouldn't exist. I always say that it wouldn't exist without them. It wouldn't exist without the triumphs and the trials and everything. So, I live in an abundant mindset. I got what I need, and I'm always going to have what I need.
I love that. I love that attitude. And I love the part about gratitude. Like, you got to be grateful for every little thing that you have, like, because it's a journey. We always look to see what, you know, the celebrities, we forget their journey. Like Steph Curry, we see him now, but a lot of us saw him when he was at Davidson, when he first started, when he first got in the league, and he couldn't barely walk without his ankle messing up. But now it's our kids are seeing him and they're like, oh my gosh, no, it was a journey. It's like, you're going to have your ups and downs. You're going to have an off season, an injured season, but you got to just keep going. And
that's a good analogy right there.
Yeah.
See, I don't watch sports, but I could keep up with that one.
Yeah. And I think it's more so because March Madness is happening. We get to, like, when you get to a certain level, they do stories on your family and you get to find out about kids' journey, and you be like, dang, they really had to go through that, and they here. And that's how it is in business. It's like, everybody only see what you post. Everybody don't get to see the nights that you staying up late, the times that you had to use your money on this and you're hungry or this and that. And you just got to keep going with your journey and not look at everybody else, and just realize what you have around you. Like you said, like my daughter, she's taking marketing, so she's going to do my website. So I'm utilizing her. She don't know. She part of the team already because she's doing something that I don't like to do, that I don't want to do. And if she's good at it, boom, why not have her right there? And then she can build and have her own thing. Yeah. So I'm asking this question for her because she's a freshman in college and she's working in a salon. What would be like one or two things that you could tell a young person that's doing like hair, doing stuff that, you know, entrepreneur stuff, but they're just starting to push them to be able to go full entrepreneur?
The same things I said earlier. Definitely investing in her education, doing those continued education classes. I was one of those stylists that is, kind of a dying breed at this point, but I did everything. I did braids, weaves, wigs, shortcuts. I did some barbering. I was not a barber, but I had clippers. I could use some clippers.
Did you ever cut your husband hair?
I did color. Yeah, that didn't work out.
Yeah. Okay.
I did color. I was one of those stylists that did everything, and I didn't have a. Oh, look, I'm trying to chew my gum. I didn't have a niche. And so I know a lot of people are focused on that right now. Like, you need to have a niche. You need to have a specific thing. I wouldn't say focus on that. I would say focus on that experience you give that client, because for that type of business, word of mouth is way stronger than anything else. Like, girl, like, you can have all the talent in the world. You could have a niche, but if that experience is trash, honey, those people will not come back. And if they do come back, okay, because there's a client out there for everybody. We know that there are some people who offer a terrible service, and somehow they're still staying booked and busy.
I know some
right?
people.
But you got to think about, do you want to have those types of clients? So, yeah, focus on the experience that you're giving. Focus on your education, and definitely having some good people in your circle, because there are slow months with hairstylists. Like, even right now, I think, Easter? And so after this, it might be like a little slow season, and then we hit spring and everybody want to come out with their colors and curls and weaves and ponytails or whatever. But just stay focused on that experience, and that's going to make you win every time.
Yeah, I love how you said that experience, because when somebody goes to get their hair done, man, woman, they want to experience, because when they get out that chair, they want to just feel like they $1 million and they can go anywhere, and if they single, they could talk to whoever. They just feeling like, I got my hair cut, because when I don't get my hair cut, it be a long time, and I be looking Pursuit of Happiness. And people be laughing, but I look at the movie, I be like, man, I really look like him. And then just having a haircut, it just make you feel 10 times better, like you a little more confident, or you be like, okay, what can I wear in my closet? Because when you don't got the haircut, what hat matches with these outfits that I can put on? But when you got a haircut, you like, okay, I'm gonna throw this on. So I love that experience. She does retwist.
So she do locks.
Yeah, yeah. So she's like always in business. It was funny because when she I think it was a few months ago, she was doing people's hair and she was lowballing herself. We like, what is you doing? If you don't add up the prices, because guess what? They gonna go pay that with somebody else. They coming to you right now because you giving it to them for the low. And like you said, you want to make that experience and make sure that you get in what you supposed to get paid. Because a lot of times it ain't about, you could maybe do a retwist in 30 minutes, but it took you maybe 2 or 3 years to get to that point. So that's what the people are paying for. I don't think people realize that in business. Sometimes it only take a person like 5 minutes to do something, but it didn't take them 5 minutes to learn that. It took them 5 years, or it took them longer. So you got to pay what the service is. But word of mouth, I was thinking of BMW and how you never see a commercial.
Yeah.
It's word of mouth. It's experience when you go to that dealership, and when you come out, you like, ooh, then they gonna go tell their friends. So it's not always about having ads and stuff. It's about word of mouth, and people gonna tell somebody about a good service. So I got like two more questions that I got. Okay. So I don't pre-question, but I pre-question, because shout out to Anthony Murdoch. I've taken his mastermind, and he's interviewed a couple people in our class. And I noticed his questions, and he was able to, I talked to him and he helped me out with my questions. So I'm like, just having certain questions on the topic of what the person can keep the conversation flowing, even though we have regular conversation. Yeah. So in your experience with Black women entrepreneurs, which of the following components, exposure, education, or equipment, can have the greatest positive impact on their journey?
Exposure,
education, or equipment. I think I know the answer with what you might say, because you said it so many times today.
I'm going to say education for sure. I'm going to say education.
And why to you, because you've said it so many times, why do you think no education is the greatest positive impact on someone's journey?
I'm going to say that because, again, when you know better, you do better. And then just think about the frustration, the stress, the just how you feel when you don't know certain things, you know. If you get the exposure, so let's say I get picked up by, like, let's say Ebony Magazine. They're like, Tangie, oh my God, we love what you do. We want to feature you. But I don't know to look at the contract. I don't know to have an attorney, you know, look at certain things, or I don't know what I should talk about because I don't even understand my audience. You know, I didn't do any research. I don't know how much I'm lowballing myself on what I should charge for my apparel or my services. So that education is going to empower you. It's going to make you a force to be reckoned with. It's going to make you stand on business, right? So that's more important to me because the exposure will come. You know, you can decide, I'm going to be on this podcast, that podcast. People are out here. They're waiting to tell your story. Yeah. Right? So that's not going to be hard. And then the equipment, I mean, we've seen it all the time. Like, you could tell your story from your bathroom, from your bedroom, from your couch. Like, that's not really an issue from your iPhone. We really don't need to have all of this stuff. We want to have it because it's sexy, but we don't need it. But imagine if we didn't know what we know now. Would this even matter? If you had been given this opportunity 10 years ago, would you have been able to do what you do now? Right. So that's why I say education. Yeah. That, wow. Just, 10 years. Yeah. Not in the conventional sense of education. I need a book. I need to go to school. No, it's just being empowered by information. It is powerful, y'all. Yeah.
Because you're right. Because 10 years ago, my son was being born. So that's when my life changed, seeing him being born and looking at him and like, oh, this little person depends on me.
I need to evolve. And to be prepared for a lot of different things.
Because when you got somebody that, like, his sister is my daughter, but I'm not her biological dad, so I didn't get that experience. So when he came, I was like, oh, I got to teach him everything he need to know. So I need to change. So 10 years ago, I wasn't ready. I mean, I could probably sit down and talk, but I wouldn't have been talking about nothing. But from 10 years ago, like, just the education and like it's self-education. Like, people will be like, hey man, who do your design or your graphic designs? Me, because I've been doing every single one and just getting better and educate myself, or even in business by taking the business accelerator or being in a mastermind or having a coach, just being around people and getting that knowledge. And like you said, it's like, if you know better, you do better. Because if you're around something and they like, okay, well, this is how I got to my $1 million. I did A, B, C, D. And you like, well, I'm going to just do A, B, and maybe C. And then you like, well, I ain't a millionaire. Well, you didn't do all the steps that I told you. And like, you really talking to me like, you know better, you do better. Because I know better. And it's like, you got to do better, but you got to do it on your own. Sometimes it's scary to do it on your own. Or one thing I seen, it was something, a post, but it said, you got to save you. Like, you can't, like, there ain't no superhero, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman ain't about to come to your door. You, your Superman, your Batman, your Wonder Woman, and you got to save you. If you don't get up every day and do what you're supposed to, you won't be able to get the goals and the results that you're supposed to. So I love that. So I think, before I get into my regular questions. So lastly, what are you aiming to break down barriers for, build up, and bridge gaps through your organization?
Loaded question. I like your questions. You did a really great job.
Thank you.
Okay,
thank you.
I just want to say I'm excited about that because people, can just ask you just some, dry questions. I don't know. Yeah. But I really appreciate that. Okay.
Thank you.
So what I'm aiming to do as far as breaking down barriers and just for my overall, vision for Black Girl Hug is to start conversations surrounding mental health that aren't conventional conversations. I don't want to just have sexy conversations like, okay, I'm feeling anxious today. What do I do? It's like, no, I want to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. I want us to start encouraging each other, stop judging each other so much, and giving each other more grace. And I also want us to, like you said, put our mask on first and start dealing with that, do that inner work. Because that was the experience that I had with my niece. She was out here saving everybody while she's drowning, and we didn't know. And so, you know, you got somebody that's out here laughing, smile. We see it all the time. They laughing, they smiling, and then they committing suicide. And then you have Black women specifically. Our experience is that we're suffering, and then we're getting up and we're just continuing about our day. And so our children are watching that. And these young girls now, they have anxiety, and, you know, they have different language than what we had coming up. But what they're dealing with is they think that it's normal, but they have social media that's giving them unrealistic expectations on what life should be. And then you got mommy that's at home crying in the closet and not showing them how to maneuver through real life. You get what I'm saying? So it's like they thinking it's a Barbie world out here, and you're supposed to be happy and stiff and perfect all the time. And your mom, your parents are not even showing you, like, nah, that ain't what it is. They are killing themselves. Like, they are. And so because I don't want my daughters to be a statistic, I want to start having those conversations. And that's why I'm having retreats and having these events, so that we can start those conversations. We can start doing the inner work. I'm giving you tools and experiences maybe you didn't have. I'm learning myself too, but I'm teaching others how to lean on each other, woman to woman. You know, how to lean on each other, how to collaborate, how to be intentional, how to move in alignment, how to maybe even giving them reciprocal relationships they never experienced, reciprocity, you know, getting something in return, in exchange, that's equal or more value than what you gave, and being like, wow, I can just relax. I don't have to be tight all the time. So it's just all of those things. It's for the young girls. It's for my generation and the older generations, because they didn't have that either. Yeah. So that's what I want my legacy to be like. That's what I want the experience to be like. And I think I've been doing a pretty good job so far. So we're just going to get better.
Yeah, I love that. I love that answer, because it's for all generations, because like you said, the terminology different. Like, we didn't know what anxiety and mental health was when we was growing up. I mean, we knew about it, but it wasn't something that was talked about. And so I think for like even the older generation, they got to heal themselves. They've been holding on to so much for so long. It's like, just let it out. Just let it out. Because I'm one of those people that I ain't thought about killing myself, but I'm one of them people that smile and I go home and I might be crying, because like, you deal with life and you sometimes deal with it on your own. And just to have that, to be able to go and talk to somebody, or have a brand that you could just look at the page and just see, and like, or a quote on the shirt that is encouraging. And like you said, it's not just for women, because I've seen a couple of like stuff on there. I'm like, dang, do they got that for dudes? Like, I've seen some. I can't remember. It's something to do with struggle. I was like one of the first ones I seen you in the summertime you had. I can't remember what it said, but I was like, I like that. And that's what it's about. It's about being able to help other people be able to heal themselves, because if you've healed, you can help somebody else heal, because everybody don't know how to heal. So I love that.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's see. I always ask 3 tips. Give some young girls 3 tips of how they can deal with life a little better on an everyday basis. Yeah.
Okay. I think about this stuff a lot, because again, I have daughters. I have a 4-year-old and a 12-year-old. And so I'm always with the lessons.
Yeah, wait till they get a teenager and it gets worse.
Yeah. So, and my girls are pretty good. So I we'll wait and see.
No, trust me, I know. I got an 18-year-old, and when she turned 13, it was like, oh wait,
who are you?
Yeah,
I hear that a lot.
Yeah.
I'm hoping I don't experience that, but I think I'm ready because I've been you haven't been a 13-year-old girl before. I've been one, and so
yeah,
here we are. So anyway, the first tip that I would say to a younger girl is practice gratitude. Because so many things are being handed to them. So many things are being handed to them. And even for our generation, there were a lot of things that were handed to us that our parents, our grandparents didn't have. But I think we had a greater appreciation for it because we didn't have social media. We weren't comparing this, that, and it wasn't a lot of stuff going on now that was, then. So we had a greater appreciation, but you have to start practicing gratitude. And I mean, even starting with yourself, you have to be grateful. My body is not what it was when I was 20, right? But guess what? My body has brought me through a lot. I have been healed. I've had COVID twice. I done had the flu. I've had a lot of things happen to me in the past, 2-3 years, and then giving birth to 2 children. So even I'm saying that because it starts from within, and our young boys and girls, they need that. They need to be grateful for what you have. Stop seeking other things and then thinking once you get that, you'll be grateful. If you don't practice it now, if you don't appreciate $1,000 now, you can't handle $1,000. How you gonna manage $1 million? How you gonna do that? So that's my first tip, is to be grateful for that. Practice gratitude. And then I would say, don't silence yourself.
That's a good one.
Don't silence yourself. I actually had a meeting. I don't know if you want to call her a spiritual advisor or what, but with a woman named Marcy, and she's amazing. But she was telling me that I still silence myself, and I didn't think I did. I'm so outspoken, and people know me as that. But she like, girl, you ain't even. I know you got more, and you will just turn it down, and I do that. And so it started when I was a little girl. So do not silence yourself. Okay, some stuff you might say, and you might be mean about it, or it might have not been the wrong time or whatever, but you got to say those things, and you got to respect how you feel, and you got to make other people respect how you feel too, because your feelings are your feelings. And what you need to say, and I'm saying this because women are dying from heart attacks, from not speaking, from not expressing themselves. And so imagine that with a young girl. She want to say something. She want to say no. And she's feeling like she don't have the permission to. You have the permission. I'm giving it to you right now. Okay? So that's my second tip. And then the last one would be give yourself grace. Like, give yourself some grace, girl, boy. Like, you're 12, you're 15, you're 20. Like, you don't know what the hell you doing. I'll be 33 in a few days. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, there's no handbook. And then we have the human experience, but then we have our individual unique experience. I just sent out an email about that today. You know, you have to embrace your journey, and you have to be you, but you got to give yourself some grace. Hey, you made a mistake. That don't define you.
Yep.
You know, that doesn't define you. People who knew you a week ago don't know you now, because you're always changing.
Yep.
So you got to give yourself some grace. It's okay if you made a mistake. It's okay if you assumed something. It's okay if, you made a choice. Maybe it wasn't a mistake. Maybe you made a bad decision, okay? You made the choice and it was a bad one. You got to give yourself grace. You got to forgive yourself. Yeah.
I love those 3 tips. I love those. So I need an underdog quote. It could be your quote. It could be one of your quotes you got on your shirt, but I need a quote.
There's so many, because I'm the queen of quotes. Let me think what's a good one. What you think is a good one, Donnie? Talking to my husband. He's the king of quotes too. He always got a quote
But
for something.
I didn't ask.
I know, but he could help me.
No, you gotta have your own.
I'm gonna go with the one that's on the back of this shirt. Because all my shirts have quotes on the sleeves, the front, and the back. Actually, I like this one. Okay, hold on. No, I'm gonna go with the one that's on the back of my shirt. It says, "What's meant for you won't pass you by." So don't try to force anything. What's meant for you won't pass you by.
I love that.
You feeling like an underdog, or you feeling like, things are not happening the way they're supposed to. Things happen the way they're supposed to happen, whether we like it or not. Yeah, they happen the way they're supposed to happen. That thing that you thought you wouldn't survive 6 months ago, you survived it. You sitting here. You survived it. Yeah. So what's meant for you will not pass you by. You don't need to force no relationships, no friendships, no position at your job. You don't need to force any conversations,
Yeah.
It's not gonna pass you by. It's gonna happen when it's supposed to, and if it's supposed to.
Yeah, I agree. Don't force none of that, because I'm king of delete a number. You got 2 weeks. If I don't feel like you adding value, or you hit me up enough, or our conversation, I delete. I got some people to delete. I don't even know their name really. I'm bad. I'm bad with that. So I love that quote. I love this conversation. I think we've been in rooms and stuff, but I've always wanted to interview, because you're very intelligent, and what the information you gave out is not just for women. It can help men, but it's definitely gonna help some young girls, and it's gonna help them to heal. I don't think everything always got to be about business or success in that way. Sometimes you got to work on you first, and once you work on you, then you'll be able to do the things that you need to.
Yeah, that's always my goal. Even with my accelerator, it's not really just the business. A lot of my testimonials and reviews or whatever you'll see, they are confidence boosters. Like, oh, now I feel confident, because again, there's power in education. So the way that I teach, or the way that I present things, is always in a way to make sure that you feel more confident in what you're talking about, or what you're doing, or in the information that you receive. Because you asked me a question. You asked me a few questions, and now you might feel more confident in that specific subject, like the archetype. Now you could go and tell people about it, because you understand it a little bit better. Yep. So it's never, that's like the surface level for me, but it's always deeper. Yeah.
So tell everybody how they can. Happy early birthday.
Thank you.
So you're
Aries.
Yeah, my son is Aries. His birthday is in 2 weeks.
Mine is on the 11th.
His is the 15th. That mean I need to do my taxes, because the 15th.
Oh my gosh, you one of those people. You doing your taxes right before the
due.
Oh my gosh.
Because I got to do business tax, and then I'm one of those people. I don't got a team, so I don't write everything down. I don't keep track. I got to go back to the books and go through the whole year, and then I added Underdawg Talk last year too, so I gotta add that to the other stuff that I already had. So yeah, I really ain't. That's on me. I ain't getting no money back anyway, but I don't want to owe nobody either. But tell people how they can reach you on I always say the internet, on social media. I sound old saying the internet. On www. But how they can reach you on social media.
It is the internet still. So Black Girl Hug, everything's Black Girl Hug, blackgirlhug.com, Black Girl Hug on Instagram and Facebook, and it's spelled the normal way, GIRL, hug, HUG. That's it. Kept everything simple. And I have an event coming up. I have two, one in DC and one in Indianapolis. One of them is on April 6th. That's the one in DC. And the next one is April 27th here in Indianapolis. So if you want to come to one of those retreats, you want your daughter to come, then definitely go to my website and check that out.
She in
RSVP.
Gotta see, because she in school. She go to in IU. Before I close out, or have you say something before we go, I want to shout out my friend Jessica. She works at Dr. Tavel, and she's got me my wonderful glasses, because last night we was having a kickback, and she was like, "You ain't shouted me out," so I'm gonna shout her out about my glasses. But shout out to my team, Youth Cheat Code. Shout out to the boys. Shout out to Coach DJ, just for us winning. because a lot of people don't know who our team is. We not one of the flashy teams. We don't got, well, we do got some of the best players in the state. I'm gonna say that, but people don't know who we are. But y'all gonna know who we are. And after we won the state, we gonna try to win national, and then the world gonna be screaming YCC like they was last weekend. So shout out to them. What? I don't know why I thought we was in May and Mother's Day, but it's Easter today. But yeah, happy Easter to everybody. But give us a closing word. No, wait. I gotta ask it right. Not a closing word. I got the question where I don't sound like I'm at church. Give the audience a word of encouragement. Before we get out of here, I'm gonna just shorten the question.
I feel like I gave.
I know you have, but it's the end, and there's a lot of clips. Yeah, like I can't wait to clip this up and put this out.
Me too. I can't wait to see what you do with this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with what my shirt says. No, matter of fact, I'm gonna say find joy in the journey. That's one of the quotes on one of my shirts too. That's one of my favorite quotes. Anytime that you're struggling or something is just not going your way, find the joy. Like start making it an automatic transfer of thoughts to find the joy in the situation. Find the joy, laugh, don't take yourself too seriously. Because again, it's gonna work out the way it's supposed to anyway. So find the joy in the journey. That's it.
I love that. And on that note, keep being great.